On to a lighter topic. A topic that is kind of approaching its end, I guess, because it is September and the Major League Baseball season is coming to a close for many teams, but not mine, my Chicago Cubs. Yeah, they're going to win the World Series this year. But I just wanted to go around the league a little bit and just talk to you guys about Major League Baseball. You guys still involved in Major League Baseball? Let me know. I'm going to ask these questions for you. It is September 8th. Tell me who the MVP is in both leagues. Tell me who the Rookie of the Year is in both leagues, and tell me who is going to win the World Series this year. I appreciate it if you give me some feedback, and if it's not the Cubs, you're just wrong. You're just wrong, and you're going to hear me say that until October, whatever the day is where they clinch. But we're not here to talk about the Cubs because there's plenty of other storylines going around in Major League Baseball. I mentioned it in the open. The Washington Nationals just got Steven Strasburg back from injury. And in his first start, in the third inning, he left. And it didn't look good. Threw 2 pitches, winced after both of them, and he was taken out of the game pretty much immediately. And if this is another elbow issue for Strasburg, after signing that long-term extension, oh man, that is absolutely heartbreaking for the Nationals and even more heartbreaking for Steven Strasburg. I mean, this guy has been dealing with injury problems ever since he was drafted, since he entered the league. And we had all the hype for Steven Strasburg. We projected Strasburg to be the next Nolan Ryan, going that far as to say this guy was the real deal. And this poor dude's got so much going on in his right arm that it just hasn't allowed him to pitch. They had a restriction limit on him early in his career, and still, he is just suffering from so many injuries. This one looks to be very serious. I'd be surprised if he pitches again this year, and that's a big knock to that Nationals rotation. It's good for the Cubs, though, because, Cubs are going to win the World Series, and they might have to go through the Nationals to do it. But overall, guys, look at the National League playoff standings here, because it's starting to get a little messy. A little clear, but still messy, because totally contradict myself there, but that's okay, because the Giants, Cardinals, and Mets are suddenly just right in the thick of things. And 2 weeks ago, I posted a video saying, Cardinals and the Giants and the Dodgers, those are the 3 locks, because the Dodgers and the Cardinals and the Giants, the Dodgers and Giants, they're in the playoffs no matter what. And then the Cardinals are going to win the wild card. But the Cardinals are falling off, guys. The Cardinals have not been playing well lately, and all of a sudden, the New York Mets, somehow, some way, who signed freaking Tim Tebow for whatever reason, pissing me off, are back into the race. They're 1 game back. How is this team still relevant? They lost Syndergaard for a while. He's healthy again. Their rotation is DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Colon. Bartolo Colon, the 43-year-old ageless wonder. He's still pitching fantastic, and they're still in the race. I just don't understand it. I don't understand. Jay Bruce has been very nice. James Loney's doing a nice job filling in for Lucas Duda for now, but my gosh, I wrote off the Mets completely going into August, and yet they're still relevant. Whatever the case, I still don't think they make it. But if they do top the Cardinals in that wild card and knock the Cardinals out of play, that'd be nice. That'd be nice, despite the fact that I think the Cubs can beat the Cardinals if they do meet in the NLDS, because the Cubs are going to end with the best record in baseball. They're probably going to clinch within the next week or two, and they're going to have to wait until the wild card game is over to see who they play. And I hope it's not the Giants. Actually, maybe, I don't know. I was talking to some baseball buddies. They had a pretty convincing argument saying that they matched up better against the Giants in a 5-game series compared to a 7-game series. And that makes sense because you wouldn't have to face Mad Bum 3 times. And if it's Mad Bum versus Arrieta 3 times, Mad Bum wins that game every time. So, yeah, the Giants scare me. I think they're going to make the playoffs, that's for sure. You guys got to let me know who you think is going to make the playoffs. Because it's been a pretty wild September, and we're only not even 2 weeks in. So it's crazy. And speaking of crazy, how about the New York Yankees? New York Yankees have come back from, 11 back? Now to 2.5 down from the AL wild card. This team was packing it in at the trade deadline. And now they're making a run. They have a chance to make the playoffs. They have something to play for. And that's all you want as a fan in September. The Tigers are still around, but the Yankees. Luis Severino has been great. Jacoby Ellsbury's been healthy. Brett Gardner, too. It's been impressive, this kind of run. I know I'm jumping around a bit, but going back over to the National League, guys, the Miami Marlins are getting a certain someone back, and that's Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton was supposed to be out for the season, but I guess his groin is okay now for him to just come off the bench, and that's pretty big because this team is totally lacking power now without Stanton, and they've fallen off now. They're 5 games out of the wild card. My God, the Mets are tied with the Cardinals. They're not even a game back. They're tied with the Cardinals. It changes every single day. The last time I checked, they were a game back. Well, must have won last night. The Cardinals lost. So, my gosh, this playoff rate's a lot of fun. You guys got to be sure to pay attention to it going into the end of September. Pittsburgh, they are 2-8 in their last 10. They just ended a long losing streak. So, they're bad. They've been done, honestly. They've been done. So, I really haven't taken them seriously. Got to give Kansas City an honorable mention over in the American League. They're 4 back. Houston's coming back. Houston at 74-66. They started the season terrible. They tried to claw back into the race. That Carlos Gomez experiment, it just didn't work out for him. He's gone. But they're 2.5 back. Them, the Yankees, the Tigers, the Orioles, and the Blue Jays are all right there in the wild card, including Boston. Boston just overtook the AL East last night, and I don't know, man. I still believe it's the Blue Jays division, but I went with 3 AL East teams getting into the playoffs this season, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for the Yankees. The Yankees are probably the ultimate underdog that people love to hate, I guess, because the Yankees have been good for so long, and yet they're good again when they're not even supposed to be good. So, I don't know. I guess I'm rooting for the Yankees quietly. In the other side of Chicago, though, the White Sox are totally dead in the water, 67-72. Had to throw that shot in there because Cub fan, had to take them. Especially when the Cubs are the best team in baseball and are going to win 90 games probably tonight. So, hey, it's a good time being a Cub fan. Really sad time being a Sox fan. But overall, this I don't know why I threw that jab in for the White Sox. That was probably unnecessary, but I had to do it. Guaranteed rate field, you know what? So going into the final couple weeks of this season, this is the last time we can enjoy summer. I mean, baseball is summer, hot dogs, beer, good times, 7th inning stretch. And I'm probably going to hit a couple more games before the season's over, and it's time to really just power through winter, I guess. Because once the NFL starts, it's full go. Like Sunday morning on NFL Sunday is Christmas morning every single week, and it's awesome. But with baseball, it's you got that kind of, how can I describe it? You have that warm, cozy feeling inside, knowing that there's always a game going on, and then summer is always associated with good times. So it's gonna be sad to see the baseball season end, but it shouldn't end for the Cubs. If you guys are Cub fans, it shouldn't end for a while, hopefully. But right now, to wrap up this conversation and this podcast, thank you all for listening and sticking around to me ramble about nothing. We have the Boston Red Sox ahead in the East by 1 game, the Indians up on the Tigers by a lot, the Texas Rangers up in the West by a lot, and the Blue Jays and Baltimore currently hold the top 2 spots in the American League wildcard race with the Tigers, Yankees, and Houston, as well as the Royals and maybe the Mariners, who are 5 out, all in it to win it. They're still among, it could happen. It could to any of those teams. Just keep that in mind. And then over on the NL side, you have the Nationals, Cubs, and Dodgers, and Giants, St. Louis, New York. That's it in the National League side. Pittsburgh's done. I said Miami's in it. That's it. So there you have it. Let me know what your playoff predictions are, as well as the MVP, Rookie of the Year, and all this other jazz that I asked in the beginning of this podcast segment. So without further ado, I would like to end this podcast by saying thank you very much. Remember, blogtalkradio.com/most valuable podcast is where you'll find all of our full-length podcasts. No more SoundCloud, unfortunately, for those SoundCloud users. I like SoundCloud, but blogtalkradio.com/most valuable podcast. Of course, become a patron. Patreon.com/most valuable podcast. We'll do more for you and probably enjoy stuff more often than we do now. Twitter at Rankin906, at Most Valuable Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Most Valuable Podcast. You guys are the best. Thank you all for listening. This is Behind the Pen. My name is Mike Rankin, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.